friends, how's it going? It's me, Betty Jean. Today I'm going to be playing with some of the products in the newest Oden's Eye Alva 2 collection. Before we hop into it, I know this says it's a first impressions. Technically not a first impressions. I filmed this yesterday. My microphone, it turns out that the batteries were dying and I didn't know, so the audio was absolutely horrible. I was trying to edit it. I was going to post it anyways for you yesterday so it could get up as soon as possible. But it was just honestly giving me a headache to listen to. The fuzziness, it was just too much. So, refilming it today, I will still give you my thoughts and how I felt with my first impressions as best as I can. So sorry I couldn't get this up for you yesterday. It was delivered yesterday and I was gonna have it up. The day that I'm filming this, it's getting uploaded so that you guys can have it as soon as possible. I tried my best. Sometimes technology gets the best of us and we just have to try again. I never want to put up subpar work here on YouTube, so I just felt like it was best to refilm it, and I hope that's okay with you. Well, I guess you don't have a choice because here it is. Before we hop into it, Oden's Eye did send me all of their products in their newest collection. I have worked with them in the past on sponsored content, but this is not a sponsored video at all. They did not require me to make this. They don't know I'm making this. I'm just doing it out of my own free will. I do have an affiliate code with Oden's Eye as well, by the way. You can use my code BEAUTBEAN in all caps to save 10%. I will make a small commission off of your purchase, so don't use it if you're uncomfortable with that, but it is there if you want to save some money, and I do appreciate it so much if you do use my code. The new collection consists of the Alva 2 eyeshadow palette, 3 mini eyeshadow palettes, and the Alva 2 highlight palette. Today's video is going to be more so focused on just the Alva 2 eyeshadow palette. The video that's going up either the day after this one or the one after is going to be focused on the 3 mini palettes. I felt like it would be better to break it up into 2 videos. I'm also going to be playing with the highlight palette, not only in this video and that video, but just a lot over the next while, so just stay tuned to see that pop up a lot so you can kind of gauge all the colors. I can't promise when or if a multiple looks video will be going up with this palette, but I will be doing an IGTV video with all of these at some point. I plan on doing like kind of a new makeup get ready with me kind of video, and I'll probably include this palette in that, so stay tuned for that. There'll still be lots of looks coming your way. I'm really pumped about this collection and I can't wait to just play with it with you guys. Before we hop into it, my plugs are from Love Kills Boutique and these earrings are from Spooky Doodle Club, and I do not remember where this choker is from. Alright, let's talk about the things we are focusing on in this video. I'll have swatches and stuff of the mini palettes in that video, so stay tuned for that. The Alva 2 eyeshadow palette. I always love how detailed and beautiful the packaging is. It has this beautiful texture. The design is just stunning. I'm always so happy to see their packaging. It's so on point. The inside is this beautiful array of lovely colors. I'm so excited that there's a colorful palette in their lineup now. They already have 3 palettes in their lineup, and I feel like adding this really bright colorful palette definitely added something new that they needed in their brand. I don't love that there's 2 pressed glitters in here. I definitely would have preferred those to just not be there at all. I would have preferred more shimmers or even more mattes. I don't like pressed glitters. I really wish they weren't there, truthfully. If you are someone that likes pressed glitters, and I'm pretty sure that's the majority because that's why brands keep doing it, is obviously people like it, I always say just be careful with use around the eye area because they are typically not intended for use around the eye area. Now let's talk about the highlight palette. Again, the packaging is so beautiful. I'm just so blown away. Whoever designs their packaging deserves a raise. And the inside is so pretty. I love their first highlight palette so much, and I'm so excited about having a second one. I think these shades are all so beautiful. I can't wait to play with them all over the course of however long I feel like. I think they just pick beautiful colors and it definitely fits the theme of this collection very well. This is not a review. It's only my, well, I guess technically second time using it, but I'm still very new to this palette, this collection. I will, again, have more looks coming your way, and stay tuned for my PR new makeup releases kind of roundup review that I do every month at the beginning of next month, because this whole collection will be included in that if you want a more in-depth review. Alright, with that being said, let's hop in, create this look, and I'll give you my thoughts thus far at the end of the video. Hi. Take 2. I loved the look I created so much yesterday. I don't mind recreating it for you. Obviously, since this isn't a true first impressions anymore, this will now be my second time playing with it. I can't give you like my full on like, oh my gosh, this is how I feel in this moment, but I will try to reiterate exactly how I felt and how I currently feel. That makes sense. I will start by saying I sat down, I was super pumped. It had just gotten delivered yesterday. I got off work. I had to go back to work that evening and I was just like so pumped to film in between. So heartbroken when I got home after my second time going to work and went to edit it, and it was absolutely horrible. Either way, I was still pumped about this collection. I was so pumped to play with this highlight palette, and that is where we'll begin today. Obviously the rest of my makeup is already done. I just wanted to do highlight with you guys. I love the first highlight palette so much. You guys already know. It's like my favorite. I just adore it so much. I gasped when I saw Salamander for the first time. It's so pretty. It's so sparkly and wet and just everything I could dream of in a highlight. That's the one I used yesterday, and that's also the one I'm going to use today because you guys need to see this in action on my face today. I will be playing with the other three as I use this palette more, and just in general, I'm just going to be using this palette pretty much nonstop just to get good use out of it. I'm really pumped about it. I'm excited about all the shades, and I'm so excited that now I have two amazing highlight palettes from Oden's Eye. But yeah, we're going to dip into Salamander. This is my Kaleidos H1 highlight brush. This video might actually be better than the one I filmed yesterday because I don't work today, so more high energy, yay! Ugh. It's already taking my breath away again. It's so just wet and sparkly. It's literally like fairy dust on the skin. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy about this. I'm not even mad that I'm not trying a different highlight shade today because this one is just too freaking die for. Oh my goodness. I just live for glitzy highlights, and this one is making me so happy. There definitely is like sparkle in this. I don't feel like personally it looks like chunky glitter. It looks pretty smooth for it being so shimmery, and it's just so glossy looking. I feel like from a distance it almost looks like I used a liquid product or something. It's so pretty. Ugh. So excited. You know what? My shoulders are exposed. Maybe we can play with one of these on my shoulders. That'll be an actual first impressions because I haven't used any of these other shades yet. Let's use the blue one. I'm playing with blue eyeshadows in today's look, which you would have seen by the intro anyway, so that's not really a spoiler. So this might complement nicely. Let's have a look-see. Oh my gosh, look how pretty that is. That's such a soft, just very ethereal glow. It reminds me of the moonlight or something. Even though I'm totally tattooed on this side, I might as well give Mario some highlight he wants to glow too. You know, Mushroom Kingdom glow up. You know what, while we're at it, let's take the one with the butterfly down here. I'll put that on my collarbones because why not just try everything out? Let's get a little more spicy in this video than I did yesterday. I feel like this one's definitely a softer glow, but it's really pretty. It has kind of that pale, like icy purple kind of color. I don't know if I even want to say icy. I don't know how to feel about that one. It's definitely not like glitzy sparkly like this one, or even this one's a little bit more sparkly. It's definitely more of just a glow. But I mean, it's pretty on my collarbones. Not making a huge difference, but it's still cute. I'll play with it on my face at some point. I keep looking at my cheeks. I love how wet it looks. Okay, I've been rambling about the highlight palette for long enough. Let's move on to eyeshadow. So I'm going to be recreating the same look that I did yesterday because it was so pretty. I thought about just like inserting a picture of it, but you guys would want a tutorial. You would be really sad if I didn't provide one because it's so cute. It's honestly one of my favorite looks I've done in a while, so I really don't have a problem doing it again. We're going to be playing with a lot of the blues, the green. I want to play with the brown a little bit just to add like depth in certain spots. Very exciting. Okay, I'm going to be priming with my Smashbox lid primer for this look because it's my favorite eyeshadow primer, and I like to use that when I'm using new palettes. Obviously at this point I've already done this look, so I know that these shadows are going to perform well. Spoiler alert, I was very happy with my look, but I'm just gonna keep on with the same train, you know? I like this primer. So we're gonna start out with Aquamarine. It's so beautiful. It's almost like a Tiffany blue color. It's obviously like an aquamarine color, but it also reminds me of like that Tiffany blue a little bit. This is my Alter Ego number 3 brush. It's a big fluffy brush. And I'm just going to start working that through my crease. I am gonna be doing a half cut crease for today's look because that just allows me to play with multiple shimmers at the same time and just get a lot of use out of a palette for the first time. So I'm going to be putting more focus in this outer corner just to really build that up, wing it out a little bit, and then carry it through the rest of my crease. I'm going to leave the lower lash line blank with this color. I don't want this shade under there. I have different plans for the lower lash line. I was so impressed when I first played with this shadow, and I still am. I love how it's like a very vibrant pastel-y tone, but it's not dusting away. I feel like it's building up so beautifully, staying very opaque and smooth looking without just kind of dusting away as I'm blending at the edges. Sometimes that can be the downfall with more pastel-y shades like this, as they can dust away, but this one seems to perform quite well, and I don't have to work super hard. But I honestly would have been surprised if I had to work hard because I like Oden's Eye's products. They seem to work very easily for me, and I'm very grateful for that. Next, we're going to take Blue Peafowl, and I'm going to use this Spectrum B06 brush, and I'm using this just to add just some more dimension into this crease. kind of play with some more of these pastel-y tones. I really like that I can really see the difference in tone on my lid with this shadow. Sometimes with pastels that are kind of similar like that Aquamarine and this blue, sometimes they can kind of just look very similar on the eye, but this one I feel like I can really see the difference between the two colors. That makes me really happy. And again, things are building up really nice. They're blending so softly, staying super opaque while still remaining like cute and pastel. Taking that first brush with no additional product just to help keep the edges nice and buffed. I just kept that blue focused a little bit lower just to add different dimensions of color as it's blending up and out. So next I went ahead in with Coffee, and I kind of used this in my outer corner and then smoked it on the lower lash line. I think this time I'm gonna skip doing it on the outer corner and I will do something a little different with that. But I am still gonna run this under the lower lash line. The main reason I'm skipping the step on my outer corner like I did the first round of trying to film this look is I just felt like I ended up blending it away a lot and then I ended up re-adding it later, so I'm just gonna skip that first hassle and add it in later anyways. It wasn't anything negative that happened, it was just in my thought process it ended up being kind of a pointless step. Obviously I'm not someone that does the same look twice, hardly ever, just because I'm constantly filming for you guys and doing new looks, but that is the plus side with recreating your own looks multiple times, is you'll find quicker and easier ways to get it done. Because sometimes the first time you take unnecessary steps to get there, but that's okay. It's all a learning process, and it's also just a fun process. It's the creative process. I really like the shade of brown. I mentioned that before too. I just think it's a really pretty shade. It's very coffee, as the name would imply. I'm gonna take this Alamar Cosmetics blending brush with just a teensy little bit of coffee. I barely have anything on it. And of course I'm holding the end of my brush with light pressure so I don't have too much pressure. Very light little blends just to help kind of buff this out and get it nice and smoky. I just love all the sparkle on my cheeks. It's making me so happy. So now at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and start building up my cut crease, and I'll start deepening up the outer corner of my eye look as I'm kind of finishing that off, because that's kind of when I started really adding that depth later anyways. Basically, I'm gonna cut it with Green Elves. The green is such a cool pop against what I've already done. I'm gonna have it blend into Forest Dream and then Deep Sea at the bottom. Deep Sea was honestly the shade that I was most excited to play with. I mentioned that in my first round of filming this. That's just the shade that I was drawn to the most. I don't know why either. I don't, but yeah, that's what I did. This brush looks like it's kind of dirty, and that's because I used it yesterday, but I'm going to use it again today because I'm just going to use the same shades on it. It's a Spectrum A16. It's a flat brush, good for cut creasy stuff. And of course I'm going to use my NYX Glitter Primer because it helps all of my shimmers pop a ton and also helps me get really precise when I'm doing cut creasy things. Essentially, I'm just going to drag this across my lid and then kind of follow my eyeball shape and go just kind of following that roundness. It's kind of just above my natural crease so that things can show through when I'm looking straight forward. It's just kind of what I've found works personally best for me and my eye shape. Practice makes perfect, and of course the glitter primer helps because then you're not using a bunch of messy concealer that can sometimes get out of hand really quick. Alright, Green Elves coming at ya. It's such a pretty green, oh my goodness. I'm gonna pop that right up against where that cut was. It's so just shimmery and beautiful. I'm kind of just following this line, and I'm gonna stop it right kind of in that outer third where things are going to eventually deepen up. I usually say where things are deepening up, but we haven't really added the depth just yet. The main reason I'm adding depth in later, and I discussed this before and I'll discuss it again, is because there isn't really a dark, colorful matte. The darkest shade that's a matte is this brown. And like, I did use the brown and incorporate it to help add like depth and darkness, but I kind of mixed it with the Deep Sea color to make kind of like, I don't know, something that kind of went better with the bright colors, if that makes sense. And I just found it was easier to add that in when my shimmers were already down. So that's kind of why I'm doing it this way. I'm also gonna add a little bit of extra green in this first third, because just in case you're new here, I don't like to really do my multiple colors in my cut crease like horizontal or vertical. I like to do them kind of at a diagonal. I feel like everything kind of melts together nicely. I like the way it looks with my eye shape. So that's what I've been doing, and that's what I'm going to continue to do until the end of time. Alright, Forest Dream, let's grab some of that color. I'm using the exact same brush. I'm just going to use the clean side of it, and I'm going to place that right next to it, again kind of going at a diagonal, leaving this little bottom section as blank as possible. I'm just pushing this right up against the green So super pretty. I am getting a little bit of fallout with these shimmers, but it's okay because it'll sweep away nicely. And I already have so much sparkle on my face from that highlight, so it is not a huge deal. These colors together are so pretty. I feel like I'm looking at everything with new eyes now that like I'm not working today. I'm freshly slept. It's fantastic. I'm going kind of back and forth now between the two shades until they just kind of merge together nicely. And I mean, they're merging really easily. It's nothing I'm having to work too hard at. I just want a nice soft gradient, kind of like so. Now for Deep Sea, this darker blue shimmer, I'm gonna use a pencil brush. This is a Spectrum A12. I just wanted something kind of small and dense so I can really get in there into that portion. And I'm just gonna start smudging that right up against kind of my lash line in the outer third, and then just kind of start building that up as we get kind of to this outer corner. It's gonna look like a lot at first because I'm just kind of smacking down this dark shade, but it blends super nicely in with that Forest Dream shimmer I have right before it, so no need to worry there. I'm just going in very delicately, little at a time, again holding the end of my brush so I don't have too much pressure going on. And I'm just kind of lightly tapping in this outer corner just to start laying down the idea of darker pigment out here, and then I'll use another brush to help start blending and creating that kind of winged out depth that I'm desiring. Taking a little bit more of Forest Dream now, that teal shimmer, I'm gonna kind of go right where they are meeting and just kind of start smushing a little bit, just kind of going back and forth between those two brushes until it merges nicely. So now that my lid is kind of looking the way I want it, let's work on this outer corner a little bit more. I'm gonna take Coffee mixed with Deep Sea just a little bit, just kind of tapping back and forth between the two. And I'm gonna use this tapered blending brush from e.l.f., that one that I used with the brown on my lower lash line. Again, holding the very end of my brush, very little motions. I'm just gonna kind of start swirling in this outer corner and just kind of creating like a little V out here, just to start creating that illusion of like depth and a shadow. Just kind of making it work with what I have by mixing the shimmer color that I want with a matte shade to kind of create an in-between. I'm not someone who likes putting straight up shimmer in my crease. If you're someone who does, this probably won't be something you'll have to worry about. You could just go in with that blue. But I like it to be a little more matte in the crease. That's just my personal preference. But yeah, just using some patience, just building it slowly, little motions. I haven't dipped in for more product since I first started this little journey. Just kind of taking my time, doing little blends. Now that it's kind of in this zone, I'm going to take the brush that I used with the blue Peafowl shade, our second matte, no additional product. Again, holding the edge of my brush so that it's not a lot of pressure. Just going to lightly do kind of the same thing against that edge, just very little sweeps, little motions, just so that it can blend nicely into our lighter mattes in the crease. And then taking our first brush with just the teensiest bit more of Aquamarine, gonna do kind of the same thing out here in this outer corner. Being careful not to like go over the shimmers too much because I'm not trying to disrupt that cut creasy action we did. I'm very focused in the outer corner. For the lower lash, I took the Copper Red shimmer and I wanted to put that kind of in that first half of my lower lash line. I really liked this combination of putting this warmth next to all these cool tones we have going on the lid and crease. Thought it was a nice little contrast and added some extra interest into this look. And I also love the excuse of using a shimmer on my lower lash line anytime because it's so pretty. Just very quickly blending at that edge just so it's a little softer, nothing major. And for my inner corner, I'm going to take Blue Bubble, that shimmer light blue, and that's just going to be the cutest little inner corner highlight ever. I loved the way this complemented this look. I thought it was such a perfect little inner corner. But yeah, that's pretty much the look. I actually feel like it came out better than when I did it yesterday, so that's nice. I'm gonna recreate it on the other eye, throw on my eye pencil, lashes, a lip product, and I'll be back when I'm complete. All right, this is the look. I actually love this more than I did yesterday, and I also picked a way different lip than I did yesterday. In yesterday's attempt at this look, I just used like a pinky color, just like something kind of neutral. But today I decided to go full bold, full colorful, and I think it's so pretty. I feel like a fairy. I'm really digging this. The eye pencil I paired with this look is Azure from NYX. I just felt like the kind of metallic blue kind of went with everything that I have going on. My lashes are Slayer from Rouge and Rogue, and on my lips I used the Mako liquid lipstick from Menagerie Cosmetics, and I also tapped a little bit of that Deep Sea shadow just kind of in the center, just to, I don't know, make it spicy. But yeah, this is the look. I freaking love it. I hope you guys do too. Hoping I fixed my microphone. I'm pretty sure the batteries were just dying, and that's why it sounded horrible, but hopefully I can share it with you this time. Alright, so that's it. We're at the end of the video now. I had such a blast creating this look again. Like I said, I don't recreate my looks too often just because I'm always doing new things, but I love this look so much. I'm really glad I did the addition of the blue lip. I think it's just very fun. Very fairy-esque. I think it's very cute. So far, the highlight palette has me super excited. I did not expect to be disappointed with this at all. I'm probably just going to keep this here on my filming table and use it constantly until further notice because I'm very pumped about these shades. Salamander is so pretty. I just love how wet and sparkly my cheeks look. And now let's talk about the Alva 2 eyeshadow palette. Again, I don't love that there's pressed glitters. I'm probably just going to avoid using them, to be honest with you. And the only other like minor complaint is I just wish there was a dark, colorful matte. I feel like that's more of a me thing though. I don't think most people care about that necessarily. Like there's darker shimmer colors, so that might be plenty for you. That's just one thing I wish was in there, but it's not like a deal breaker. I'm obviously able to make it work. I kind of mixed that brown with the dark blue shimmer and I was able to pull it off just fine. So it's not a huge deal and I can always dip into other palettes as well. But so far I'm really happy. Obviously I haven't used every single shade yet, but the shimmers are as beautiful as ever. They're super just wet looking and lovely. The matte's blended like a dream. I'm very impressed with these light, more pastel-y kind of colors and how well they performed. I'm excited to keep playing with this. I'm very inspired by this color story and I just can't wait to do more with it. I would love to know your thoughts so far. What do you think of my look? What do you think of this collection? Did you pick anything up? Are you planning on picking anything up? I would love to hear your thoughts about it. Again, stay tuned because I will be doing another video featuring these 3 palettes very, very soon. Either the video after this one or the one after that. As soon as I can get it up, I will. If you made it to the end of this video, please leave me a fairy emoji. And if you liked this, give it a thumbs up. If you're not already, please hop over to my Instagram. It's BeautBee and follow me there. I post every single day, and don't forget to subscribe. I'm posting most days here as well. Black Lives Matter is still so important. Please make sure you're staying informed. There's a link in my description box that will take you to resources and ways in which you can help. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Okay, bye.